What's the deal, family? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Rare Soul, and we here with another banger for y'all, man. So look, we got This Is What Happens When You Betray El Mencho. Alright, about to run this one up right here, man. This is brought to us by Death Door. Shouts out to them. Make sure to go run up his channel. Go, check out all his videos and stuff, man. But you guys sent me a lot of requests, a lot of requests to react to this video, specifically from my Mexican clown that killed cartel members and filmed it. This video, I put this out 3 months ago. It's damn near about to run up to like 200K in a minute. So appreciate y'all for whoever watched it, checked it out, whoever subscribed. But I also got a whole bunch of other cartel videos, man. We got the history of female narcos, the Gorel Flang, that's on my other reaction channel. And then this is probably one of my biggest videos I've ever dropped. The Chainsaw Murders video. That's on my other channel as well. And then we got the Crazy Marine. And then we also got the Ghost Rider video. Both of those are on my other channel too. So, yeah, man, I got a whole bunch of cartel videos, man. I've been doing this for a minute. We're going to get straight into this one, man. What happens when you betray El Mencho? If you like this video, get at me in the comments. Get at me, hit that like button, subscribe. Let me know in the comments other videos to react to. And go check out my other channel too, man. Let's get to it.
Tonight, the DEA is offering $10 million for information leading to the arrest of the Mexican drug kingpin known as El Mencho.
If you 10 million? I ain't gonna lie, man. Like, them cartel dudes, man, I don't know. 10 mil, that might not even be worth it, to be honest, bro. Because your whole family gonna be... if that information get leaked that you on paperwork snitching, it's a wrap. You think snitching matters in the hood? In the streets of America? Don't get caught being a snitch up over there in Mexico, bro. It's game over. Game, set, match. For everybody you know and your whole family. It's a whole horror movie, bro. Everybody gonna get hit.
You think death is the worst thing that can happen to a person? Think again.
If El Mencho wants you to work for him, you have two options. Say yes or be killed.
Because the fate that El Cholo suffered at the hands of El Mencho and the CJNG was worse than death. The final days of his life were filled with immeasurable agony. The manner of his demise was sickening, and the details of how he died will make your stomach turn. In fact, it's safe to say that when death eventually came for the man, it was an act of mercy. Who was El Cholo, and what did he do to deserve his terrible fate? The cruel, cold CJNG cartel. Before we dive into who El Cholo is, we first need to address the organization and the individual he betrayed.
Don't play with these guys, man. Like, I be trying to tell, don't play with them. Do not play with them. At all. Never. Ever.
Jalisco New Generation Cartel, otherwise known as the CJNG. If you are familiar with this cartel, then you know that no one in their right minds would willingly betray this insane, violent criminal outfit. And yet
they getting ready to deploy for war zone, bruh. Call of Duty. This is Battlefield 5.
El Cholo
this is Call of Duty Warzone preparation,
bro.
Some
low-level underlinings of the cartel. He betrayed the boss himself, the fearsome and infamous El Mencho. Once again, if you know nothing about this man, then use this as an introduction. El Mencho is the devil, plain and simple.
Tú ya sabes con quién traes la bronca. Para que sepas, aquí seguimos buscándote y no quitaremos el dedo del renglón.
Go ask anyone who runs the most brutal cartel. No, who runs the most brutal criminal organization in the world. They will point to El Mencho and his CJNG. Under his guidance, the organization has committed crimes that would make the skin of ISIS terrorist organizations crawl. Because it's not so much what crimes they commit, it's how they commit these crimes. And the ridiculous part is, they're not even half as big as the Sinaloa cartel or any of the rival cartels in the country. They're small. And yet, despite their diminutive size, they are the first and so far the only cartel to take on the Mexican government and technically win. Beyond this, they are known for their willingness to use weapons in warfare and their battles against practically anyone who stands in their way. There's a rumor, probably true, that they once tried to buy a belt-fed M60 machine gun in the US, and they've gone on record as the first cartel to bring down a Mexican military helicopter with a rocket-propelled grenade. If all this sounds impressive to you, it shouldn't. There's nothing pretty about this cartel, because when you...
They brought down a helicopter with a grenade? and the first ones to do it? Damn. Oh, this is crazy, bro.
Consider how they treat their victims, including the civilians that they kidnap. It will knock the taste out of your mouth. Legend has it that CJNG recruits cannibalize their victims during the initiation process. Children, pregnant women, the elderly, no one is too innocent or too precious to be violated. They've assassinated more government officials than anyone is willing to acknowledge, and there is no doubt that they were behind the assassination of Aristotle Sandoval, the former governor of Jalisco, back in December 2020. All of this chaos, all of this bloodshed, every hit and every kill is sanctioned by El Mencho, the man that El Cholo betrayed, the same man whom, surprisingly, was El Cholo's boss and closest friend.
Yo, El Cholo tripping.
The path to rebellion. El Mencho started from nothing, born into poverty and making a living for himself through grit, determination, and both feet in the drug trade. He wouldn't meet El Cholo until he became a sicario for the now defunct MENCHO cartel. At the time, they both protected the drug lord Armando Valencia Cornelio, alias El Maradona. And it was during this time that El Cholo became something of El Mencho's right-hand man. He was there when El Mencho tried to hold the MENCHO cartel together as their bosses either got arrested, died violently, or both. El Cholo witnessed El Mencho reorganize the cartel and rename it to the CJNG, filling the gap that the MENCHO cartel left. With El Mencho in charge, everyone fell in line. He had a quality that his dead bosses recognized, admired, and employed him for. But it was also the same quality he had used to take some of them out. And it was a quality that would spell a new age of chaos and violence for the state of Mexico. On one hand, El Mencho was materialistic, disciplined, and thoroughly organized. On the other hand, he was violent, brash, and crude with his techniques. It was this unique ability to be those two things at the same time that struck fear of God in the hearts of his enemies. For example, most cartels have the habit of making their victims disappear. The Sinaloa cartel famously had El Pozolero, a stew maker, who, for more than a decade, dissolved thousands of bodies in acid for the Sinaloa cartel, essentially causing tens of thousands of people to disappear. But El Mencho encouraged
the stew maker. This shit is a horror movie, dog. This shit is a horror movie. You got the Avengers and Marvel, DC, superhero super killers.
his cartel to do the exact opposite. Every
Super villain
corpse
super
presented an
killers.
opportunity for spectacle. Instead of making bodies disappear, they would butcher them and throw them in public streets or hang them from bridges while recording the process. They would then post it on social media for the world to see. El Cholo was at the center of these activities. He knew firsthand what El Mencho was capable of because he was the one who carried out most of his hits for him. In fact, when El Mencho seized power of the CJNG in 2011, he became the boss's personal sicario. And maybe this is why he betrayed him. He had gotten so close to the man in charge that he lost perspective. El Mencho was a hard man, a man who gave answers and expected you to follow without question. But El Cholo was a man with his own ideas. He wasn't a yes man. And it was only a matter of time before those ideas became seeds of rebellion. And in the world of cartels, the wages of rebellion is death.
Nope.
Soon enough, El Cholo began doing things he shouldn't do. His first act of rebellion came when he conducted hits without El Mencho's permission. El Mencho was, and still is, a strategic man, and he wouldn't have appreciated the gesture. It didn't take long for a loyalist named Marcos Hernandez, the cartel's financial operator, to snitch on El Cholo. El Mencho was furious at El Cholo, and El Cholo was furious at Marcos. However, the situation wasn't irredeemable, and there was a possibility that El Mencho would have forgiven his erring sicario if El Cholo had simply asked for forgiveness. But you see, El Cholo was on a path of self-destruction. He assassinated Marcos and essentially declared war on his...
You know what El Cholo sound like? He sound like one of them dudes, you know, like when you work at a job, right? There's always that one person who kind of higher up in the job, right? And they've been there, they've been holding it down for a while, but they starting to like, they kind of on their way out, you know what I mean? They about to get that next job, you know, they looking at that next situation. So they kind of on that decline, on that way out just a little bit. And they start doing little stuff. like messing up the count right here in the register. They not doing that one little thing on purpose just to kind of disrupt the flow of everything else. They order just a little bit too little amount of like they just start doing stuff that they know is gonna kind of like mess up the operations of the business a little bit, right? But it's nothing you can really. It's just little stuff here and there. You might not even notice it or not stuff. You know what I mean? Small stuff. It sounds like that, but this is not no entry level job at fucking Home Depot, bro. You are not the assistant manager at Walmart, bro. This is a whole nother job. This is a job where you probably don't want to play around with the boss like that. You feel me? But he sound like one of those guys. But I don't know if he realized the stakes he's playing with.
Former boss. Rather than making amends with El Mencho, El Cholo defected, took men from CJNG with him, and went ahead to form his own cartel, Nueve Plaza Cartel. The cartel civil war. El Cholo's betrayal dealt a heavy blow to the CJNG. El Cholo took a handful of CJNG generals with him, including the CJNG's head of logistics, Eric Valencia Salazar, aka L85. There's no telling exactly how El Mencho felt about the exodus of betrayal that happened, but I can tell you what happened next. El Mencho declared war, ordered a hit on El Cholo, and began attacking his Nueve cartel, attempting to cut it down before it could ever become a real threat. But these were his former men and colleagues. It's safe to say that they already knew his tricks. First of all, the declaration of war didn't faze El Cholo one bit. Secondly, the attempt on his life by El Mencho's hit squad failed miserably. It was so bad that El Cholo murdered the head of the hit squad sent after him, undermining his former boss once again. The war that followed was brutal enough as it was, but somehow it was about to get a lot worse. Because El Cholo formed an alliance with the enemy, the Sinaloa cartel. With this alliance, they quickly found access to resources that allowed them to level the playing field. Now, they could fight the CJNG on their own terms. Now it was all fair play. The Sinaloa cartel began using El Cholo's Nueve cartel as a hit squad that was mostly targeted at the CJNG. They even allowed them to take control of important sections of the Jalisco territory and some of Mexico's western states, the war that was tipping in El Cholo's favor.
Damn. The Sinaloa cartel low-key played them. They said, look, we'll give y'all some resources, but y'all about to turn into immediate pawns right now. We gonna hook you up with this, and that. But now y'all got a front line. Y'all got a front line for us now. We gonna give you the supplies, but you the front line now. The guys we had on front line, yeah, we pulling them back a little bit. Y'all go ahead and do that. We got y'all. Let's see what y'all do. Low key, hey man, get it how you live.
It was beginning to look like El Mencho would be defeated by his former Sicario. The war that broke out was brutal and extensive, and unluckily for residents living there, Guadalajara was the stage of it all. And as both factions fought their bitter battle, innocent people were caught in the crossfire. In 2018, 3 film students in Guadalajara were driving home from school when members of the CJNG kidnapped and killed them after confusing them for members of the Nueve cartel. Public buses were set on fire. Broad day shootouts were routinely conducted, and the body count kept on rising until the entire city was filled with the stench of corpses and the fear of its residents. Meanwhile, El Cholo just kept on getting stronger and stronger. Whatever El Mencho was doing was not working. However, just when El Cholo seemed like he had won both the battle and the war, the worst thing happened. On March 18, 2021, El Cholo was captured by armed members of the CJNG on the orders of El Mencho himself. In the video, you can see him sitting calmly flanked on all sides by armed sicarios as he delivers a confession. My name is Carlos Enrique Sanchez Martinez, aka El Cholo. I am originally from Guadalajara, Jalisco. I'm here because I am an enemy of CJNG.
Dog.
I met with Omar Garcia Harfuch in the federal district so that he could give me his backing. This is due to us both being after the CJNG, and he did give me his full support. But he told me that he needed something relevant in return so that I could operate with his support and his people among the city. The Omar Garcia that El Cholo implicated.
Dog, you work up in the ranks. become one of the most dangerous, evil leaders. You become his right-hand man. Do him dirty. Take his people. Start your whole new thing. Go get with the ops. Level your stuff up. And then start killing the people that you used to work to run with. And then you get caught. Oh, no. That's crazy, bro. Do they got a movie on this, man? Like, just this situation specifically. If they got a movie on it, let me know in the comments, man. This is wild.
In this confession happened to be the sitting Mexico City police chief at the time. But it didn't end there. El Cholo rounded it off with a warning. Anyone that is still left supporting me, it's best for your own good to just start taking care of your families so that you don't end up like me. No one needs to tell you who wrote the confession, but the message was properly received. The individuals and officials he revealed immediately began to defend themselves. Omar Garcia Harfuch refuted the claims in a tweet. Regarding a video in which a criminal kidnapped by other criminals made comments about me, I reiterate that I will not be distracted by false messages from criminals. My commitment to society is firm. Fight crime to be the last consequences. All of the other public law officers he mentioned in the clip were fired. This was El Cholo's downfall, and he had taken his allies down with him. After this video, the sicarios behind him proceeded to extend his torture over the course of a few days. This is an image of El Cholo before the CJ&G captured him, and this is what he looked like just a few hours into his torture.
Damn. Just a few hours.
El Cholo's gruesome death. 2 days. That's how long El Cholo was tortured. It's unclear where the sicario started from, but the common knowledge is that he was kept alive for the full length of those 48 hours while he was pushed into the very edge of what anyone should endure. First, his legs were destroyed. All the bones were broken and shattered into bits. Then, the toes on his feet were chopped to bits, and the toes they missed were grinded. His broken ribs suggested that it had been smashed in. And this is where the whole situation becomes confusing, because no one is sure whether all of this was done before, during, or after his body was savagely slashed and his eyes were gouged out. And did I mention he was also electrocuted? But while everything I just mentioned is incredibly horrifying, none of it comes close to what happened next. Still alive, while still breathing, El Cholo's tongue was clamped in a vise and pulled viciously out of his mouth. It was only after this that he was shot twice in the head.
Oh
His
my
body,
God.
or at least what was left of it, was wrapped in a plastic bag and dropped on a public bench in true CJ&G fashion. So how did the Sinaloa cartel respond? They said nothing, did nothing. What about his cartel, the Nueve cartel, and his buddy Salazar? Same, said nothing, did nothing.
Bro. He done broke every bone in his legs, done sliced him up, electrocuted him, ripped his tongue with a vice grip out of his mouth, and gouged his eyes out, bro. I would not. I'm going to Puerto Rico or something. I don't know. I gotta go somewhere. I'm out of there. I'm gone. I'm going to Arizona. I don't know, dog. I wouldn't say nothing either. I don't know nothing. I don't know. I have my memory wiped clean. I don't know nothing. I don't even know my name.
MENCHO had promised everyone who betrayed him that he would send a message. El Cholo's death was received by everyone, hand-delivered, unmistakable, clear as day. Since then, no one has dared to cross El MENCHO like El Cholo did, and from the looks of it, it seems like no one will anytime soon.
Yeah, that message is loud and clear, man. That is what happens when you betray El MENCHO, man. Be careful. Be careful what you get into, who you surround yourself with, and also, make sure you understand the dynamics in whatever situation you in. Because you may think you're doing one thing and you only making your situation worse. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, bro, he was right hand man. Then he decided, you know what? Maybe he got a battery in his back. He felt like he had the juice. Then went against his own mans that he was rocking with, and his man only did what he's supposed to do, which is respond. He responded to his man's betraying him, essentially, and that's what happened to him. So it's an unfortunate situation, but that's what happens in that realm. In that world, that's just what goes on, bro. Crazy, man. If you guys enjoyed that, hit that like button, subscribe, man. Get at me more videos to react to. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Remember to keep it real, real, rare, real. Always reaches everyone. Next time. Peace.